Alright guys, thanks for coming out. Shia LaBeouf couldn't make it, so you're stuck with Eran Hami.
Boo. You stink!
Here at Mesquite Street Comedy Club downtown, shows have been lacking for quite some time. But a local comedian is trying to flip the comedy scene on its head here in Corpus Christi by introducing a new idea that will happen monthly.
I'm Eran Hami, your neighborhood news reporter. Of course I'm going to tell you about the most important information that you're going to need to know. I'm a news reporter. Of course I have to tell you about a bill that just passed the U.S. House of Representatives that could ban the app TikTok. I'm a news reporter. Of course I'm going to tell you that lawmakers believe TikTok is a national security threat because of its ties to its Chinese parent company. I'm a news reporter. Of course I have to tell you that this has a local impact, and here's how.
Hey everyone, I'm Eran Hami here at Incarnate Word Academy. The Angels football program is still in its infancy, only having played one full season. But with success in their first season in six-man football, set, go! They're ready for the transition to 11-man football. Let me introduce you to Rural Tank Rescue. It's an animal rescue that operates from the coastal bend to the East Coast. For the last 6 months, I've been investigating complaints about how it operates. I found cases of dogs being crammed into carriers and transported across the country without proper care. I'm Eran Hami, and we are starting tonight with some breaking news. Hopefully you guys have kept up with us on air and online. We are live here on Lexington Road on the south side, and the scene behind me is very much still active as police and the fire department have been here all afternoon, and we can now confirm that human remains have been found here on the south side. Marissa, this was hands down the best game of the week we've had all year, dominated by the defense. I've been sweating because it's humid out here, but also because the play on the field has just been fire all night. Let me show you. If you have a car like this one that are higher off the ground, you might be the more vulnerable types of people for these thefts. I was going to tell people they could look forward to my dancing, but they cut the music off just in time, so I'll save that for later. But we've got vendors setting up out here. 2025 begins with flashing lights and police sirens. Tonight on Chris 6 News, a crash on Horn Road leaves a local business owner to pick up the pieces. Hello and welcome to the Olympic Zone. I'm Eran Hami. So much to get you caught up on, from big wins by Gabby Thomas and Cole Hawker on the track to the U.S. women's national team on the soccer pitch. Take a look. Only the defensive line coach has left for a new job. Texans look to have hung on to their offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, who had both been interviewing for other jobs. Texan fans, get excited. The future looks like fun. Here's a question that perplexes many neighbors this time of year. No, not the one about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
And we have these cracks that if you would step on it, you could probably like tweak your ankle, or if a ball would hit it, it would, who knows where it would go.
For years, the tennis courts at West Oso have been in disrepair. From Google Earth, you can even see the courts need attention.
And it goes all the way down. You can see it.
Look at this large crack that runs through the entirety of one of the courts. Senior Araceli Salinas says she's tried as long as she could to make do with the one of the four courts being decent enough to play on.
My doubles partner, she got hurt last school year while she was playing, and she had like a swollen ankle and she couldn't play for I think a week.
You can see my camera is slanted when I place it on the ground on the far side of the courts. Most of the lights don't work and weeds are growing through the cracks. With no true home court, it hasn't stopped West Oso from serving up aces. The team just made a trip to the bi-district playoffs. Salinas has won the district 3 years in a row, and the boys' side won their first district title last year.
Last year, me and my doubles partner went to regionals. We won the district, and that was the first year that they had a boys' doubles team win the district champ.
Yeah, see, it's part of the court that's coming off.
Most matches are played at other schools, and get this, the team of 12 hasn't practiced together all fall season.
Just kind of frustrating because my doubles partner, she doesn't really have a ride to go to Al Cruz, so it's kind of difficult.
Frustrating is a word the team has used a lot. Luckily, some have been able to practice at Al Cruz Tennis Center for the last 2 years, those that can get transportation.
I just want to see kids succeed, and to make sure they have the proper equipment, which they do.
And he's the one that started them back when there were 8th graders going into 9th grade. And with his help and with the help that we give here at the school, they've done a great job this year.
Coach Jaime Barrera says the administration is aware of the courts. However, we reported in August that West Oso ISD is operating on a deficit budget this school year.
Hopefully, if we're successful, maybe it will encourage them more to want to put some more financial aid into our tennis courts.
Although there's no telling when these courts might be resurfaced, the matches must go on. Student athletes are already training for the next season. Matches begin at the end of this semester.
I had 4 breakdowns while I was pregnant, like hysterical breakdowns, and they were all over the fact that I lost my dog.
Caroline Adams lives in Connecticut and adopted her dog, Tuck, from Rural Tank Rescue. She only had him a few weeks before she learned he had heartworms. He was treated, but died from cardiac arrest 11 months after adoption. Adams paid for a necropsy and learned Tuck was sick well before she adopted him.
He had cardiac parvo in addition to the heartworms, and essentially was just a ticking time bomb with us. We're really, truly lucky that he made it as far as he did.
Adam's dog Tuck is just one of many adopted from Rural Tank Rescue with parvovirus. In June of 2021, the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources issued a cease and desist to RTR and its founder, Kayla Denny, to stop sending animals into the state. The state of Massachusetts plans to issue fines to Denny for repeated violations of the cease and desist order. Denny started Rural Tank Rescue, or RTR, as a 501c3 nonprofit in October 2019. She has said she sends many of her animals to the Northeast because Texas has such a high stray animal population. She admitted to the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources that the animals had not been checked by a veterinarian before being transported. That's a violation of the Animal Welfare Act, the legal standard on animal care. It requires animals to be disease-free and inspected by a licensed vet within 10 days before being transported, and they should have a health certificate from a licensed vet. Caroline Adams never got that health certificate when she adopted Tuck. What she got was a rabies certificate and a handwritten vaccination list, which Adams believes was forged.
I have a copy of Tuck's siblings record as well. And it is very clearly photocopied. The only difference is that the name and the gender are different on pieces of paper, down to the rip in the stickers from the vaccination vial.
The animal health inspections weren't the only violation RTR committed. Back in January 2021, one of Denny's transports got stuck in a snowstorm in Virginia. Paige Hearn is a local animal rescuer in that area that responded to help the animals. She says what she found shocked her. She saw large dogs in crates not big enough for them to stand up. She saw entire litters of puppies in one crate. Hearn says some were defecating blood. The Animal Welfare Act requires animals to be fed once a day and have access to water at all times. They must be able to stand up and turn around in their crate. It also says crates cannot have more than 4 dogs or cats per crate. Hearn says she saw 6 to 10 puppies in some crates. Carrie Morales is a former volunteer for Rural Tank Rescue.
People started to correspond back with me. I was horrified at the conditions. I had no idea there were animals fresh out of surgery, if you will, on that transport. It was horrific.
Fast forward to December 2022. Another RTR transport van was involved in a crash in El Campo, Texas. Morales says about 48 animals were on board. 1 dog and 1 cat died in the crash. Another dog had a leg amputated.
So I reached out to Kayla, and on my messenger and over a phone call, I told her blatantly, Kayla, I need every dime that the rescue has. I knew there were roughly $50,000 on that transport van. I was told, sitting in my vehicle with other rescuers around me, that there was no money for these animals.
While Rural Tank filed as a nonprofit when it opened, it lost that status in 2022 because it never filed paperwork with the IRS. I spoke with Denny to give her the opportunity to address everything, but she declined an interview. Not everyone who adopted from RTR has had a bad experience. There have been some successful adoptions, but that doesn't bring solace to Caroline Adams, who still misses Tuck.
I had no other hormonal meltdowns except for the fact that my dog was not going to get to meet my baby. And that is just, there's no way that can ever be fixed.